All right. We are live, YouTube. Going to get everyone from the Telegram in here now. If you guys aren't in the Telegram, I post when I go live there every day, so that way you guys can get notified. But I just posted it right now. We are live according to the Telegram, and we're going to get started here soon. I gotta mute those for while we're trading. Okay. Good morning, Luca. It's good to see you. How was your weekend, Luca? Thank you, I did. It was nice and relaxing. Got to spend some time with my girlfriend and my family. As you could tell, the background's a little bit different. We don't have the books up there, the painting on the wall right now. I'm actually moving this week. I won't be able to be on Wednesday either. So this is just going to be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. Oh, nice, Luca. Yeah, it's probably my favorite book I've read when it comes to trading. Hey, Rustum. Hey, Joshua. Good to see you guys. Um, I'm doing good, Rustum. I'm doing good. How are you doing? I'm nothing new except pretty big. Nothing new except everything's new. About to be moving this week actually. Not too far actually, only like 40 minutes, but my entire office is cleared out right here right now. So there's literally nothing in here right now except for a computer. But I had to keep the lamp in here for the backdrop. Hey, Dovey. Let me see something really quick because I honestly already packed the book that we usually use for our scripture for the day too. But I kind of want to share something with you guys that I thought was pretty interesting. We've got plenty of time. Um, Let me find it though. Okay. Yep. Let's do this. I'm gonna drag it over here in a second. It's gotta load. Okay. I'm gonna go to the scripture, but it's not really something we're declaring, but it's something we're gonna just kind of be aware of. And it's super important. It's super important for me, and it helps me be patient and understand that I just have to keep making the right steps, and ultimately things will come together in God's timing once He realizes that, or once He sees that I'm ready. Like everything is happening in the perfect timing, but if things happened in our timing, it ultimately would it could destroy us, right? If a blessing obtained way too early is actually a curse. That's what the Bible says. Now this scripture, it says the lot is cast into the lap, but its every decision is from the Lord, right? And so the reason I wanted to share that, guys, is because we come in the markets and we take trade after trade, which every trade is just a probability, right? It never has a guarantee. And so as we continue to roll the dice, cast the lot, and continue to show up and do what we're supposed to do, ultimately we're not in control of the results. We're only in control of the execution. And so that verse kind of shares how we can cast the lots, we can roll the dice, we can execute our trades, but ultimately the Lord is going to determine how they fall, and we have to keep trusting in Him. If He gave us this dream, if He gave us this vision to be in the trading industry and to see success here, and it's truly from Him, then we have to keep our head up, we have to keep going, and we have to know that He's letting everything play out in the perfect time, and we have to learn from our mistakes and keep moving forward. But I guess the core concept here is that we're in control of the execution, but God is 100% in control of how things are going to play out and the timing, right? One thing I'll tell you that a lot of other people won't tell you in the trading industry, because the trading industry is very um, focused on self, not focused on God. And so that people have seen progress with, positive affirmations, telling themselves they're the best, and like just kind of like faking until they make it, talking themselves into it. But ultimately, like the idea behind what they're trying to do is that you're in control of your life. You can make everything happen. You have to decide to, and like it sounds great, honestly, and it has a lot of good concepts that aren't wrong in it. A lot of spiritual concepts even that aren't wrong in it. When it comes to speaking life, speaking the right things, but ultimately, I've really come to believe, and I'm only 24. I'm not that old at all, but I've lived a lot of life in 24 years. I've come to realize over and over and over again that I'm not in control of as much as I think I'm in control of, over and over again. And so, if we think we're in so much control of things, it really eats us up because then we're like beating ourselves up because we're not seeing the results we want in our time. But ultimately, there's so many things going on behind the scenes, um, especially spiritually, that are impacting all of these things, right? And so we have to just know that, our perspective's limited. We can do what we can do, and the rest is really outside of our control, and we just need to continue trusting in God to bring us to the place that He showed us that He wanted us to go, right? So, yeah, Luca, I'll be live streaming every day except Wednesday this week. I won't even be trading Wednesday. It's the 28th, I think. Yeah, and so we won't even be streaming on Wednesday. I'll be off that day. I'd love it if you guys were still trading to tell me how you guys do in the Telegram. Um, so one thing we're doing, I got some. I was reflecting after this last trading week. This last trading week was our first week down after five. It was our first week down in 5 weeks, and so I was reflecting, and I was like, what went wrong? What could we do better? And ultimately two things, right? There's too much noise. We were trading too much, and that being the first thing, too many pairs, and then the second thing being, um, no higher time frame perspective, right? And so two things I'm implementing this week are I'm only going to trade Australian dollar, US dollar. And the reason being, that's the only pair I traded way back in the day. When I traded, I'll show you guys. You go to my YouTube channel, you go to the live streams. I actually streamed a very long time ago. Everything I've been doing more recently is this year, but a year ago I actually streamed only trading Australian dollar, US dollar, and I did it at 8 a.m. instead of 10 a.m. and the results were great, right? But we didn't have our process really fine tuned. But it all started with AUD/USD, and actually, if you guys look at the journal, we haven't lost a single AUD/USD trade. We won here. Um, this one, we actually won that trade, but the New Zealand US dollar caused the loss in those two pairs. AUD/USD, one, AUD/USD, one. It's very consistent with the supply and demand lines, and so we're going to stick with this pair. It's the cheapest cost too. It's got, for the most part, a zero pip spread, no greater than usually a half a pip, and then the commission cost is less than 1 pip. The commission cost on all the other pairs we were trading, like I don't really share these numbers all the time, but they were like over 2 pips, like 1.5 pips, 2 pips. And if you guys understand probabilities, those significantly put the probabilities back in um, the favor of me losing, right? And so we're gonna get rid of some of the noise. I encourage you guys to trade whatever pairs work best for you. AUD/USD has always been my favorite, always been the pair I've made the most money off of. So we're going to, for the time being, switch to just locking in with this one pair. And then we're also going to, as we're trading on the 5 minute, we're just going to have a daily perspective. And I'm going to show you guys, we're going to do it right now since it's 9:51. We're going to go over a few different things for a daily bias. All right, so the obvious overall trend right now of the daily is going to be up, right? So we're going to mark in our journal that the trend is bullish, right? The next thing is the daily wicks, okay? So the daily wicks, what I mean by that is it's essentially the daily range. Price, let me do this, right? So which way are the wicks going? Price was coming up all these wicks, and now it made a new high here, right? So essentially, like, simplest terms, price today has not made a new high. It has failed to continue going higher, and we're seeing a bearish candle, right? So even though the price is ultimately up, we wouldn't be opposed to taking shorter sell positions because the wicks have refused to go higher. The wicks are switching lower. This candle hasn't closed, of course, so anything can happen. And then we are also seeing a bearish candle as we're entering our trading hours, right? So one thing that we're doing too is we're switching to the 5 minute. This is an indicator that I got from a good friend of mine that streams as well on YouTube, and he's like kind of, him and I are kind of like in line with each other when it comes to channel growth. So him and I both have ultimately like the same following right now. Like we both hit 2,000 recently. We both live stream. He does indices though. If you guys trade indices, go ahead and follow him. I'm gonna shout him out really quick just to show you guys. It's like one of the 5 people I've subscribed to on YouTube. Super cool guy though. Stoic Jake is his channel, and he trades. He's a good trader. Like he's really trading like that. So if you guys trade indices, check him out. He streams too. He's got about a similar following to me. And it's just cool to know someone in the space that's growing at the same rate as you, right? Because it's either people like that are like not streaming, or they're just like so much higher. Like when it comes to like sub count and stuff like that. Thanks, Joshua. Yeah, I've only been consistent now for about 5 or 6 months, and then really only consistent with the supply and demand lines for the last like 5, 6 weeks. It's like week 6. But the supply and demand lines are something I did way back in the day when I streamed a year ago, and then we took a break. We took a break ultimately, and for like maybe 6 months. I was still trading, but took a break for like 6 months. So let's do this. We could see price potentially come lower. Price hasn't really cleared these highs yet. So like if price is slightly bearish for today, it's bullish long term, but bearish for the day. I could see it taking out some of this, but I'm not opposed to getting in buys again. It doesn't look like this can, because I'll tell you guys why. It doesn't look like this candle even touched for us, but like if price is gonna go lower, I'd like it to like clear like that out really quick, and then maybe tap into the supply up here. It didn't touch that demand, so we're not interested. But the best trade would ultimately be for price to clear these highs right here, tap into this supply, and then ultimately go lower. So we'll kind of see what happens. And then take out all of this right here. That would be the goal. But we are bearish for the day. This daily candle has refused to make a new high for the day. Price is pulling back some, and then if you look on the daily chart, which we're trying to keep a higher time frame perspective in what we're doing these days, we really are. But ultimately, you guys can take a look and see that this it hasn't come down like even 50%, right? And so if you guys know premium and discount, like for price to continue going higher, we'd like it to at least pull, or when price is pulling back, you like it pulling back at least like 50%, right? So we've got this area right here that we want to see taken out, potentially tap the supply to go lower and take out this built up liquidity right here. AOJ. But isn't it cool, guys? Isn't it cool to see the actual daily candle side by side with your day trading? This is the coolest thing ever. I think you'll get the AU shorts. I just don't think yet. So, OJ, what we're looking for right now is we're looking for like some obvious highs to be taken, right? We're looking for these obvious highs to be taken, and then price to tap into the supply. So that's like the best setup we could get ultimately, is price tapping into a supply like that after clearing a high. It did clear on a smaller scale right here, and so we could see the shorts. You could see internally right here, it's making, I don't know, if price kind of pulls back below there, we could see a good move to the short side. if it pulls back, because that would be like an internal SDL switch of direction, right? Like it doesn't have to clear these highs before going lower because it did technically, in a sense, take out some internal liquidity right here. And we are ultimately bearish for the day, but just because we're like more on the sell side, we're not necessarily going to be stuck on that. But I do like sells just because of this built up liquidity right here. And seeing that prices failed to make higher wicks and prices slightly bearish. Or is bearish overall for the day, right? The cool thing about this candle, guys, is this right here, up here, is like, this is actually the high of the day. That's actually the high. This is actually the low. That's actually the open, and this is actually where price is right now. So, I do see potential for price to go lower for us today. It's pulling back some now, but I don't know though. Overall, its price is going up. So, and I do believe we still can see price going higher. I mean, it did kind of match this high, but it could potentially clear it with how bullish price has been, because price wasn't even nearly as bullish coming into that high that first time, and you could just see the buying pressure is so much more significant. Let's see if price pulls under. I might try the shorts here. We're taking one trade a day still, guys, but we're really focusing on the pair we're trading. Alright, price closed above it. We're not gonna worry about that right now. We'll see if we can't get a re-entry if price does want to drop. You guys can see the low of the day is tapping into the demand from Friday. With it tapping into that demand, where'd price go last time it touched that demand? Price went at least right here. So if it does want to clear these highs before going even lower, it could go up to there. But we're not seeing a crazy reaction or anything. I'm not against buys because we don't need a massive move and we just want price to like clear this. So I'm not against buys. It's just the question is where would you be buying off of, right? Get that off there. We don't really need that on. We don't need that on. We'll just kind of keep that there. So like on a day like this, like it's bearish overall, but at the end of the day too, the overall trend is still significantly bullish. Um, we're definitely in the what is it, discount for the daily candle to buy up, but we'll see. I don't know. I do see price continuing to pull down some, so but we're not set on anything because you see like it's not making significant pullbacks. Like if we're, I mean, to measure this, right? Price didn't pull back 50% here. And so if price is going to keep going higher, like it doesn't even have to pull back 50% here. And so we're not seeing deep pullbacks right now on AUD USD as it's been trending up. So price could keep going higher. So we're just going to kind of look to see like what price is playing off of when it comes to supply and demand. Like guys, I want to draw like something in here, but like I'm not too convinced that's a good idea just because you guys can see price closed and broke through there so strong, or like even like right here, like these aren't very clean SDL lines. Like this is a whole area of noise, just a bunch of clutter, right? It's not very clean. So like the cleanest thing like when it comes to demand would be down here, and I'm not really convinced that buying right here is a good idea. Um, just with the selling pressure. So a better idea, guys, would be something like this, getting price to like close here and then pull back, touch that, and then potentially go lower. Because like we said, guys, like when it comes to taking out liquidity going down, it's all right here. And then when it comes to taking out liquidity going up, it's in this box. So we're just going to sit on our hands, be patient, wait for the setup to present itself. It's holding this demand right here though, and it's faking, taking out that liquidity. Let's take the buys. Let's take the buys, guys. I'm taking the buys here because I want to take out this high. I want to take out that high. 5.6. Price, yeah, price pulled back a lot and held that demand after wicking down like that. I think it could go shorter, but I don't think just yet. And like I just said, we haven't had that deep of pullbacks lately. If you guys look at this too, you guys can see the overall accumulation. And then let me do this. And then you can see right here the manipulation. And then, you know, if we're gonna have buys, like we could have distribution all the way up to the highs up here. But I don't know if we're gonna get this candle to flip all the way today. There's no news or anything, so. But you could see the AMD clearly on here. And then price wicking down like that, failing to go lower, and then closing right there on an untapped SDL. I like these buys, so I don't see price going forever and forever in our favor, but like we said from the very start, like if price is gonna go shorter, I like it to at least clear this and tap into like this supply up here, which, you know, guys, that could be a 5-pip move, which is all we need, right? You're long on AUD USD too? Yeah, exactly, Luca. We're just putting it on there just to know the overall pressure for the day. It would have, so the daily on the trade Friday, if I would have known the higher time frame on the trade Friday, would have 100% not got blown out of the water. I looked at it again. I usually like try not to look at the charts too much after, but sometimes you just need to reflect when you get beat up, and like those buys on US dollar Swiss franc were not my favorite after looking at the higher time frame. Because the higher time frame, like AUD USD right now, higher time frame is just trending up, right? But US dollar Swiss franc was just trending down and down. And so even seeing that much volume coming to the downside off of news in favor of the overall trend, um, it was probably not the best move. But when it came to what we said we were gonna do, we still like it was still the move we came to make. So it's just trying to um, make those adjustments when need be and move on. Got a minute 30 left on this candle though, guys. So right now we're in the direction of the overall trend, not necessarily the what the day's doing. Yeah, and you could see now this is I mean if this candle closes like this for us, it's a good thing for us. Wicks higher wick now, wicks changing direction, seeing bullish pressure, especially after like I bet a lot of people tried to sell off right there on like a trend line break, like a retail trend line break because they thought, oh, it just tapped into resistance or whatever. But like I'm looking for resistance to get broken. Like that resistance just beyond it is like where we want to take profits. Okay, we're going to get ready to take off some risk, 1.2, so we'll just shave it down to 2.2 pips, 1 pip below. We're going to have it ready to release in 3, 2. All right, new stop loss, shaved off a lot of our risk, guys, and we're going to let price try to push for us. We had a 5.6 pip stop loss initially. So ideally we want to make like at least 6.6 pips, but we're not set on anything like that. That's just to have it a positive RR compared to like our initial risk. Now let's clean up the charts a little bit. We'll kind of just trail candle to candle because guys, I think we could get a nice flow of price today if price distributes to the upside. If it does. This is an area I want to pay attention to just because that's where the demand to the far left where we're coming off of, that's where price went. So it's just going to be an area of interest. We already know price is going to at least try to come up and tap the supply. Luca, I'm so happy you said that. I'm so glad I can finally talk to someone about that. I don't know how to do that the right way. He talks about it in the book, and I've thought about it for I don't even know how long I read the book ago. Maybe like 6, 7 months ago, 8 months ago. I want to know how to do that the way he does it. I don't know if I have to start smaller and add as candles push in my favor and then keep adding, but that guy is serious. He makes some serious money and he just keeps stops tight, removes risk. Um he's the one who really got me to a place to not have a take profit. You remember when he said that, Luca? He's like, "Why do you have a take profit on, you know?" I'm pretty sure he's the one who talks about it like you have no idea how far the market's going to go. Yeah, that's why I stopped using take profits is because of him. But I've always wanted to learn how to do what he does when it comes to adding to positions. I've never even really tried it because I feel like I'm gonna mess it up. That makes sense. Yeah. We're gonna have to try it one of these days. We might start smaller and then maybe just go high. Like, so on my account right now, I could trade like just over 5 lots, and like we're trading like 3 lots right now, just over 3 lots. So it's like maybe I start with 1 lot, and then maybe as price pushes for us, we add another, and then like we add another. Yeah, right. So the initial risk would only be like 1 lot, and then we could add to our position as price pushed for us. It's interesting. Yeah, yeah, Joshua, it's adding to winners. It's adding to winners. So like, you know how we move our stop loss up and cover risk? Like he would do that and then add more. He would do that, he would cover risk, add more, cover risk, add more. I don't think he trails his stop loss candle to candle like we do. But he definitely adds to his positions. The guy's insane. He's been trading for so long. The guy had like a period of 9 months where he made money every single trading day for 9 months. But he's nuts. He'll trade for like 8 hours a day. Like I can't do that. He's a different type of trader. I wouldn't recommend doing that for anyone. All right, guys. You guys can see we still haven't even really cleared those highs that we were talking about. We got 30 seconds till this candle closes, though. We've seen a nice push, new higher low on that candle. We're going to move our stop loss. It's 0.3, so we'll move it to 0.7 once this candle closes, just to take off some risk. We're going to stay in line with the market structure of the candles, guys. We really don't like price flipping from here, but we do like it going higher. So continually going to move risk. All right, I'm letting the stop loss go there. So pretty risk-free trade for the most part today. Like I said, we like price coming up to at least the supply up here, and then if it's going to match that move on demand, we like it pulling back there. If we zoom out some, guys, you guys can see this daily candle. This is probably about 50% of the daily range, which this is nice to have this here. We can actually see exactly. So that supply is about 50% of the daily range. But if price is distributing to the upside, like if you guys understand accumulate the AMD, accumulation, manipulation, distribution, price should go much higher. But I just don't see this entire candle getting flipped, right? One thing that's cool about this, I can put on a table and it could tell me the actual range of the day. So our entire range is about 31 pips for the entire day. Do I see it flipping the entire range? I don't see that happening. I don't know though. Yeah, he's a different beast, Joshua. He's cool though. I like his style. It's cool to see like people like him are what motivates me, because like people that are really making crazy returns in the market, that are really trading like that and making some serious money, it's just so encouraging because it's so rare to find someone who's like really gone down the path and it's actually doing it. Like it's actually doing what all of us want to be doing, right? There's so many people pretending to do what we want to be doing, but then there's a few people that they're a little more quiet, and you hear about them every now and then, that are just making serious money, and it's encouraging. But like I tell everyone, if you guys need a reason to believe that trading's possible, just take a week where you lost the most money trading you've ever lost, and then realize that you could have made that same exact amount of money doing the exact opposite. That's the only proof you need that trading's possible. Give or take some commissions and spreads, but We're approaching that supply. We got 2 minutes left, team. It's not touching it. If it does touch and hold, might be a good idea to close there. If not, though, we're going to continue to trail our candles. Just because of the daily selling pressure and ultimately us talking about how it could have cleared those highs and then gone shorter, but it hasn't even touched. We got a minute and a half. Yeah, Luca. Wasn't it interesting how he talked about how many trades that all of those traders won? Like that insane sample size. I don't even remember the number, it was that big. But he talks about how all these traders won. Like he got asked like what percentage of the trades do you think, hundreds of thousands of traders, won over the course of like 20 years. Massive sample size, massive amount of time, and he guessed like 4% or 14% or some small number, and he was like, no, it's like 60% or something much higher, and it's like he was shocked. And then the guy told him it was the simple fact that people lost more money than they made. So it's a huge favor for the higher risk to reward. Okay. This candle's about 1 pip. We'll put it at we don't want to put it at 0 because we won't be able to grab it. So we'll just put it at 0.2 pips right here. We'll put it at half a pip, honestly, just because this candle's so close to that supply. I'll put it half a pip under, because if I put it right on the line, I don't know if I can grab it. I don't know what it does. Gonna let price go higher, guys, though. At least up into this box is what we want to see. We would like to close profits up here, but if price does hold this kind of strong, we'll close profits here. Yeah, win rate's more than 60%, but they still lose out of the fear of losing money on the paper. Yeah, insane numbers. So the moral of the story is that a lot of us understand how the markets move, and a lot of us understand which direction price is going to go in. We can see it, right? We've studied, we've been on the charts for sometimes years. We have a feeling, like we even have just a feeling like that the market is going to move one way or another, and we can use our discernment to get in. The only problem is that we're focused on winning instead of on covering risk, keeping risk small, and removing risk. Like if you guys can keep a tight stop that makes sense, right? That makes sense consistently, and then remove risk when the market gives you the opportunity to. You know how many times, and this is why I was in a break-even pattern before we came back to the supply and demand strategy. The reason I was in a break-even pattern was because I would have trades that would push for me and then turn against me and then take my loss. They would push for me, turn against me, and take my loss. I would have a certain take profit. And so I would be right probably every day, a little bit. Not every day, that's exaggerating, but you guys get what I mean. You're right, most of the time, but you don't make money. And so the reason is because of the way you're managing the trade, which is huge. I used to be like a big believer of set and forget, but I've never made money setting and forgetting. There's people that do. I've broke even and made small amounts of money doing it, or I've made money doing it and then would lose it like a little bit later on. So it's just honestly managing the trade, doing something much shorter where I can stay focused and manage the trade like a smaller time frame. It helps. It definitely helps, because all these little numbers matter, right? Every pip matters. every time you cover risk a little bit, it matters. Like when we talk about probabilities, when we talk about numbers, like trading truly is a numbers game. When you can shave off a tenth of a pip, that literally, it's like a butterfly effect. It changes like the course of your entire account, right? So these numbers, they all matter so much. Price is holding that supply there, guys. We'll see that we've got 2 minutes left on this candle. Pretty much a risk-free trade at this point. Let's zoom out some. I like price going higher, but like we said from the start, guys, price is clearing right here. And now it's tapping into the supply. This trade's pretty risk-free though. If it's like only 2 pips in profit, we might let it ride some, but we'll see. We've got a minute to decide what we're gonna do. Tom would close and go short. He would. He would. The only reason, so Luca, the reason right now I'm still kind of convinced buys could happen higher is because that, what we talked about, the accumulation, the manipulation right here, and now we're seeing distribution. How high could it go though? Or is it done? It already cleared the accumulation. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see, guys. We'll see. It's holding the supply here. Price is kind of flipping bullish some, so we're going to move 1 pip under this candle then. So there you have it, 2.9. We'll put it at 1.9. Love to see that actually. That actually helps us decide to stay. We're going to stay in this trade because now it's a profitable trade. And we're just going to give it potential to go higher because of that AMD, that obvious AMD right there. If it was tempting to get out of it with that candle when it was bearish like that. So hey Gregory. Good to see you, brother. Nice, Luca. Bro, good for you, brother. I'm happy to see you you scaled in like that. I'm a little jealous right now. I'm a little jealous. That's a skill that needs to be developed in my life. Guys, Thursday though, you will see me at in a new environment, new background. We're gonna be fully moved in Thursday. Gonna try to I don't know, I want to make the background pretty cool. As you guys could tell, I love the backlighting and stuff like that. I want to try to add more to it. Nice, Greg. Are you in? Yeah, OJ. You got to manage at your discretion because this trade could have easily, just as easily, have flipped the entire day for us, right? So guys, looking to the reason I got this box on here before, right? We saw this sharp move up and then price pulled back down pretty sharply from here. So it's an important area to pay attention to. Which if price breaks through that high, I mean that could be great for us to continue going higher. Let's draw on another area of interest. This is like an let me put the magnet on, team. Let's put the magnet on. Alright, those are our next areas of opposition immediately after this box. You guys can see this candle is kind of flipping up some. We might, depending on how many pips this candle gives, though, we might not want price to flip from within this box. If the candle closes like that, yeah, we don't want to forfeit like 3 pips. We got a nice move today. Like I said, anything over like 6.6 pips was like um, pretty pretty much a high risk to reward based on our initial stop. But if indeed, no, I don't know. I don't see the daily flipping bullish at all. I don't know. I see price playing within this until some news breaks price out of this maybe. But we got the AMD right down here already. Not that that's like the basis for our trade. We just like to like pay attention to these things, right? Right? Yeah, Luca. I get that. I get that right now for sure. Um, 100% understand that. Because price could flip right here if price closes within here, or price could keep going higher today. And so we got to determine if we want to, leave 2.6 pips on the table, or what is it? It'll probably be like 3 pips if we're trailing that candle. And then it's like, how much higher could we really go, right? Like maybe another 2, maybe another 5. We got 50 seconds though to decide. Ideally, Luca, we want to see price bust out of this box right here. Yeah, for sure. For sure, Luca. Yeah, one big thing that I try to remember is like, and I don't. Tom might have talked about it in his book too, but you never are really gonna always get the high or the low of a push, right? And so, like, you have to do the best you can. Um, let's see where the stop would be. I might be closing full profits here. 4.3 into 3.3. Price is pushing above that box though. We're gonna just move our stop below this candle. And we're gonna decide here if we want to keep going higher or not. Yeah, I'm gonna close, Luca. I'm closing. You do what you want though, brother. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. I closed. I don't want to forfeit this entire move right here, but at the end of the day, like you just said, we can't succumb to that fear all the time. But I liked the push it gave us today, and I think that's yeah. I think we killed it today. We absolutely killed it. I like getting nice volume pushes like that because like that's all like in my opinion, getting a nice volume push like that is sometimes price can keep going forever after it, but I've seen like price give a nice volume push and then flip so many times that entire push, right? And the times that it's done that, I'm like it just I've started to learn like I like taking profits there, but we got 8 pips today. Let's see, and we were let's put it right here. Entry. Yeah, this is our entry. We got kind of not the best entry in the world. And then our initial stop loss was 5.6 pips. I'll tell you too, like we got more than honestly I thought we were gonna get today. We got more than honestly what I thought we were gonna get because this daily candle, I didn't know if it was even gonna flip half, and it flipped over half now, right? Like that initial supply was like 50%, and now we pushed above it, and essentially we matched that demand. So now that it matched that demand right here, which I'll show you guys a little bit cleaner, we're essentially talking about this demand is where price made the manipulation into, and then when price pushed there last time, you guys can see price pushed right up here to this high, and now we just got that move to match. Now that move's matched and price has gone above it, it can literally do whatever it wants now, according to my understanding of the market, right? And so looking at the daily perspective, right, like we were just talking about, it's at a pretty significant high. Price, we liked buys because like we talked about earlier, price hasn't been making deep pullbacks. The buying pressure has been pretty strong. And then on the 5 minute, guys, we saw accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. If you guys are still in the trade, it looks like it's pushing more for you now. It looks like it's pushing more for you. Luke, are you still in? Nice, brother. Nice. It's tapping that supply now. That's a little bit internal supply. This would be like a more significant one, the one above it. Let's see if that daily candle flips. I don't know. I don't know. Luca, I've thought about like doing that instead of taking profits at all, just trailing every day. And I looked back at my charts, and some days it would have absolutely made so much more money, and some days would have lost some. But honestly, what if we like, what if that was the best option? Like I haven't really tested it or measured it, but what if we just didn't even ever take profits? What if we only just trailed? There would be days where it wouldn't work out for us, and there would be days where it would work out for us. The question then is it going to work out? Like, is it going to be more profitable over the course of a larger sample than would be if we just simply took profits when it gave us a lot at our discretion, right? You know, it would take all discretion out of profit taking 100%. It would be a very sustainable system over the long term. There would just be the thing, like we have to think about like the psychology part of it. On days where it gave us, you know, a nice push, and instead of taking profits there, it pulled back against us. Like let's say it does that 3 days in a row. That's like where I'm like, okay, maybe like I should have taken profit. You know, that's where you could get in your head. That's where it becomes dangerous. But I don't know. That would be a truly mechanical system. You know what we could do maybe? You know what we do? Let's do this, Luca. I'm going to yeah. Yeah, doing thanks, Florian. Let's do this, Luca. Maybe like at the end of this set of 20 trading days, I'll throw like $1,000 into like a MT account, and side by side with it, I'll do, and $1,000 will be super easy to test. I'll do the same trade on both the main account, and we'll trade the main account the way we've been trading it, right? Taking profits when we feel the market has pushed into a good area to take profits. And then on the MT account, what we'll do is we'll trail candle to candle, and we'll only do that. We won't take full profits, and we'll just see over the course of 20 trading days what does better. We'll finish off these. I'm going to set a reminder. We'll finish off this set of 20 trading days. I'm moving and stuff this week, just down the road, but ultimately that's a great idea to see if taking full profits at our discretion is a good idea, or is more profitable, or if just trailing candle to candle is more profitable. And when I mean candle to candle too, guys, for those of you new and watching, you guys saw us trailing. I'll make this red really quick. You guys saw us trailing our stop loss on these candles. We only trail, or I only trail on the candles pushing in our favor, right? And so I'm not gonna trail like below this black one. I would only trail on blue candles since we're in buys. That's like the market structure of the Japanese candlesticks, right? And so we would want to respect that market structure if price was going to continue flowing higher. Thanks, Florian. Yeah, Florian, I don't know if you've seen from the beginning, but we've got, so we're doing three different things to look at the daily bias right now. One just being, what's the obvious trend? Which way is price trending? Whether it's internal, external market structure, we could just see right here, price has been trending upwards. It's at a significant high. But then also looking at the wicks, right? So if price is trending upwards, wicks are going higher. Today's wick has not cleared this high wick, and so ultimately, we're not seeing any new highs today. And then just kind of looking at what the candle's doing for the day. Today's been bearish. And so what I put in the journal is I put the daily trend overall is bullish. The daily wicks, we have not gone higher, so we're only seeing the wick switch direction to lower right now. And then I'm seeing that daily candle is bearish while we're trading. and then we actually got this indicator where we can see the daily candle on our chart while we trade. It's super cool. It's one of these streamers that I know that's kind of got a channel at the same size as me right now. He trades indices. He showed me this indicator that shows the daily candle while you trade. So super cool. But we decided to go with the overall direction today. And then, guys, those of you who weren't here for it, it was just a clean and obvious AMD today. Accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution, right? So very clean setup, and we were able to get the buys. And it matched this demand over here. So I don't know what price is going to do now. We were able to shave off risk pretty quick and get the account back up. 10,627.08. That is it's a sight for sore eyes, right? We're positive for the month. But you guys see, after this weekend, able to reflect properly, able to make some adjustments to get the clutter out of our charts, able to get some good feedback from some of the team, and ultimately we're going to keep pushing higher now. So back testing some days up like. Oh, nice, Luca. Yeah, it's interesting then. If you start doing it, let me know. Let me turn up the brightness on this thing, because when I switch to the journal, it gets super dark. Oh, and then Florian, everyone else, Greg, everyone who's joined that wasn't here in the beginning, or I don't know if you guys were here in the beginning. I just saw your chats later on, but for those of you who didn't hear, I will not be on Wednesday. I have to take care of some stuff with the move, and so you guys can see in the background right now, we don't have all my books and painting up and stuff like that. That was my stack of books I've read. I've got like a bookshelf over here, but I created like this tower. It was like a project of mine when I first started reading. It was to create a stack. Every time I finished a book, I put it on the stack, and I kept adding to it over the course of the last 4 years. And so I was like showcasing it. It was like I loved having it in the background, but it's not there because we're moving. So I'll be taking care of some of that stuff this week. So we'll be streaming tomorrow, Tuesday, and then Thursday and Friday. I'm not gonna try to trade or anything Wednesday. I'm just not gonna be available. So first time we haven't been available in a while on the streams, but we'll be back Thursday, and when we're back Thursday, it'll be in a new setting. So super excited. Let me read some of the chat. Yeah, Luca, if you do that, I'd love to hear your results. I'm gonna try to do that. I'll throw $1,000 in an account like at the end of these 20 days, and we'll see how it does. I'd like to do it side by side like that. It would be super interesting. Because who knows, at the end of 20 days, if we're absolutely killing it by just trailing stop loss and not taking discretionary profits, if like the results are that much more significant, I will be the first one to tell you I have no problem doing that, because that takes a lot of the stress out of it. But I really do believe that we could forfeit some good moves by not closing profits on good pushes. So it's going to be hit or miss. It's going to be something that we'll only know by testing. Okay. Guys, 2.2% gain on the account today. 2.21%. We'll just do that so it stays consistent with everything else in the journal. And then we're a little bit shy of our high water mark still, about 270 short. But this month, guys, we are up. So let's see what we're up so far for the month. We took a hit on Friday. If you guys are here for it, thank you for your support. I needed it before going into the weekend. But yeah. Florian, have you ever seen this this indicator though? While I'm doing this math, have you ever seen this indicator? Because as I was talking to you, I remembered that my buddy, He always looks at the daily bias, and he trades, smaller time frames in New York as well, but he always has the daily bias up. Um, I mean, so like that's not necessarily just the daily bias, but the daily candle. Like we still looked at the daily overall this morning, but it's super cool because this is actually the high, right? This is actually the low of the day, and then these are actually like current price. It's like printing with it, and then this is actually the open price. So you can see it all while trading on the 5 minute or the 1 hour or the 4 hour, whatever you're trading. Is super cool. But it's called the higher time frame power of three. And this is what it looks like by 2 degrees. If you guys want to check it out, it's free. Yeah, it's free. It's just on TradingView. It's HTF power of three by 2 degrees, and it's got about 8,400 people that got it. Yeah, completely free. It's just something you put on the TradingView chart. So even if you don't trade on TradingView, like even when I trade on MetaTrader, I still chart on TradingView. So you could just pop it up and put it on there. Yeah, Luca, it's pulling back, but at the end of the day too, like we talk about over and over again, Luca, if you were trailing your stop loss below here, right, and price just took you out here, first of all, you still made profits. You were still executing the way that you said you were going to execute. And ultimately, like, if price went like this today, you would have been right and I would have been wrong. So we can't determine right or wrong if based on what price does after. This is something I'll keep trying to drill into your guys' head. You're only right or wrong based on the way you executed the trade. If you believe that price was going to go higher, if you said you were going to trail candle to candle and that's how you executed, you still made money, you still followed your execution, because price could flip all day this way or price could flip all day that way, and it's like that can't determine if we were right or wrong. It's only determined on the way we played our hand, right? It's a poker. I'm not even kidding. This is literally a poker mindset. Like this is the way, um, like I learned that poker players think from that book by Annie Duke, and I just put it in my trading. It's all outcome bias. Yeah, exactly. It helps you get through the day to day, without like wanting to like blow up or feel that you could have done better or this or that. Like there's adjustments that need to be made when you're trading. Like last week we were just trading way too much. The chart's way too cluttered, too much noise, going all over the place. And then like we had no higher time frame perspective like whatsoever, right? And so while our strategy didn't change, we refined it, we fine tuned it, right? And so I got feedback. Florian gave me some good feedback too. I'm super grateful for that, Florian. Um, and was able to implement some things. Sometimes too, we need to bounce ideas off each other. And like when we're having a down day, we need to know, are we going to make a good decision? Are we fine tuning our strategy for the right reasons? Or are we just doing something because we're angry, right? Or we're doubting ourselves, not angry. So like I'll explain this to you guys. Like you guys can come to someone in the group, like let's say you have a down day and you just got blown out of the water. You can come to someone in the group and you can be like, okay, I want to make these adjustments to my plan. Am I trying to make these adjustments just because, I'm doubting myself and just had a bad day, or ultimately am I trying to um, make good adjustments that will help, right? Because that's kind of where I was at when I was talking to Florian. I was kind of doubting myself. Like I was like, I need a higher time frame, perspective, and I'm trading too much. I feel like it's just too cluttered and too noisy. But I ultimately wanted to find out like, okay, am I making these changes to trade one pair and to trade, to look at the higher time frame just because I've, lost a trade and I'm doubting myself? or will these actually help me, right? And so that's why we absolutely need other people, because sometimes when we're in the situation like I was like last Friday and last week losing, like I probably can't see everything as clearly as maybe Florian could or you could, Luca, or someone else that's not as like attached to the situation as I am, right? And so it's super important. You don't want to make changes um, because you had a bad day. You want to make changes because you're able to really capitalize and really fine tune what you're doing. And so I really believe that if you have a strategy that makes you money, you don't need to change the strategy, but I believe there's always room to fine tune it and there's always room to adapt. And so if you can fine tune things and you can adapt, you're going to succeed, because you have to remember that no market is ever the same ever again. The market that we're going to see tomorrow has never been seen in history ever once, right? There's different people trading, there's different money going into the market at different times with different perspectives. People have got different emotions because they've had a fight with their family or something. Like, the markets are completely different every day, right? And so if you've got a strategy that works, you need to focus on fine tuning it, on journaling, on getting feedback from those people that are surrounding you, supporting you. But that's how the journey evolves, right? And so even though we're planning on doing the same thing for the next 2 or 3 years, it's going to look a little different as we fine tune it. Like, we're not trading a different strategy from last week. We're trading the same SDL supply and demand line strategy, but ultimately we've implemented only trading one pair and a daily perspective as well. So I hope these things help you guys. This is I want to get more involved in talking with you guys after the streams too. That way, like, even on losing days we have some of the best talks, guys, but we're able to reflect and able to make the changes we need to go forward. Because it's not easy, guys. Trading is not easy. The stuff, like, trading is harder off the charts than on the charts, right? When we get on the chart and we take the trade, we execute, we follow our plan, that is the easiest part about trading. But what happens outside of the charts, what goes on through your mind, the things that you have to be able to work through internally to get to a place where you can keep showing up and keep executing on the charts, it's a difficult place to go, and very few people continue after going to that place. It's a lot of internal work. Yeah, exactly, Luca. Market's gonna do whatever it wants. The market's always right. Yeah, yeah, Luca. If you can remember, getting out of the market, and realizing that you're like, so people want to see this. People want to see this. Like, if people are buying, this is what they want to see. They want to see themselves take profits at this very high point, right? And so, before price does this. Ultimately, though, you're likely going to never take profits at this point. The probability of you taking profits at that very, very, very last pip before price turns, and knowing that, is slim to none. So it's always going to look like price could look something like this, or price could look something like this. You know what I mean? But it's the chances of us always hitting, the nail on the head like that, it's very slim to none. Like, when it comes to the actual probabilities of actually getting that very last tick, it's slim to none. And so that's a huge thing in my trading, is sometimes we're going to get a lot more, sometimes a lot less, but we're never going to be exactly right. And so that's like the room for error, right? And being able to just capitalize on what you can get. You know what I mean? But last thing, and then we'll head off. Let's just see where we're at on the account now for the month. I want to keep you guys updated when it comes to the overall P&L for the month. We're 3 days in, guys. Even though we're not trading Wednesday, we'll count it as one of the trading days, just because we're just going to put no trade on it, just because it's going to be every 20 trading days that we're looking to get a sample size off of. So 10,000 627.08. Okay. We're up 0.88% for the month so far, but we're positive again. So super happy to see that. The goal is at least 10%. But all right, guys, we're gonna sign off. I love you all. Absolutely love you all. I'm just super grateful to be on this journey with you guys and not have to do it alone. It just helps being on here with you guys. So I'm gonna catch you guys on the next stream tomorrow, and then remember, there's not gonna be any stream Wednesday. Bye, Luca. See you guys. See you, Joshua. Bye, Florian. Bye, Greg. Bye, Shama. Bye, Dovi. I'll see you guys then.